Because yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out.
This shit, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
So small.
Jake Paul reacted with shock after seeing Gervonta Davis's scary monster-like training, but he remained positive and confident in himself. He said that Davis is a sound fighter, yet Paul believes in his own preparation and mindset. According to him, positivity and self-belief have carried him through 5 years of hard training and constant improvement. Paul pointed out that despite countless sparring sessions, he has never been knocked out, which gives him confidence going into this fight. For him, stepping into the ring is not just about skill, but about proving that his belief and discipline make the difference. Yes, sir. Applause. The biggest obstacle standing in the way of a showdown between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul is the massive gap in their weight classes. Davis has built his reputation in the lighter divisions where his speed and explosive power overwhelm opponents of his size. Jake Paul, on the other hand, walks around naturally much heavier and usually fights in the cruiserweight range. For boxing fans and experts alike, the concern is that the difference is not just a matter of a few pounds, but a gulf that makes the matchup nearly unrealistic. When weight gaps are too wide, it is not just skill that matters. Physical mass brings strength, endurance, and resistance to punches. For this reason, many believe the fight will remain more fantasy than reality. Even with the spectacle value, promoters cannot ignore the dangers involved when a naturally smaller man steps in with someone much larger. Clip. Controversy adds another twist as reports emerge that the state of Georgia rejected hosting Gervonta Davis, leading Jake Paul to shift his preparations and plans toward Miami. This episode shows how chaotic negotiations for high-profile exhibition bouts can be. States often weigh not only financial benefits but also regulatory risks and reputational concerns when sanctioning boxing events. For Davis, being rejected in Georgia underlines how his name still carries both excitement and baggage, while for Jake Paul, the move to Miami fits his brand of creating noise and grabbing headlines. Relocation not only changes the logistics, but also the audience's mood. Since Miami has become a hub for celebrity-driven fight spectacles, the switch ensures attention remains on the event. But it highlights the fragile ground these kinds of promotional battles are built upon.
No, you're stupid. So Rick Thompson, chairman of the Georgia Athletic Commission, told USA Today Sports that Paul's promotion company withdrew its request for permits and a rule waiver, citing the 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. The Rick Thompson guy straight up said they've been promoting something they should not have been. Come on, guys, use your brains. Y'all boxing fans, you understand this. This fight was never going to happen. This is the article from USA Today. It says the status of the proposed fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis under scrutiny because of the weight discrepancy between the two fighters. Rick Thompson is coming out and saying this stuff because he said he believes it's in the public's best interest to know that they've been promoting something they should not have been. Communications director for the Office of the Secretary of State told USA Today Sports the event will not be happening. But funny enough, tickets are still available. You could still purchase them online, and the fight is still listed on the State Farm Arena.
Champion Chris Algieri praised Jake Paul's role in modern boxing, emphasizing that whether Paul wins or loses, he has undeniably marketed the sport in a way few traditional fighters could. Algieri points out that Paul created waves by bringing in fresh fans who never cared for boxing before, and by turning his fights into crossover entertainment. Beyond just fighting, Jake has convinced popular names to step into the ring with him. Fighters like Gervonta Davis, who already attract attention. The mixture creates a unique atmosphere where boxing meets celebrity culture, drawing people who might never have bought a pay-per-view otherwise. Algier's argument is that this promotional genius should not be dismissed simply because Paul is not a world champion. Instead, It shows that boxing's growth often depends on figures willing to blur the lines between pure sport and spectacle.
And Jake Paul both let everybody know that the location for their exhibition fight has changed from Atlanta to Florida. And let me tell you, it wasn't because Jake Paul just woke up in the morning and decided that he was going to change the venue. No, it was because of politics once again getting in the way of a Gervonta Davis fight. The amount of times that local small politicians play around with Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis's fights is at the point of being ridiculous right now. There is no way without coercion that this many venues, that Gervonta Davis has this many problems with venues. But this time, it wasn't a problem with the venue. It was a problem with the state of Georgia. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of the videos like this. It's a little $ by a comment. And thank you to my guy that did it yesterday with the big $5 holler. Thank you so much, man. I'll thank you directly in the video. But let's get to this because I'm sick of this, man. Every single solitary time, well, over the last 2 years, pretty much, and I'm saying this because I believe this to be true, pretty much since Gervonta Davis started having an argument
Analysts
with
are divided when comparing Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. On one side, critics argue that Gervonta is far too small, and that the size difference makes the idea of a real competitive fight unrealistic. They believe this is the reason any bout would have to be an exhibition, rather than a sanctioned contest for rankings. The problem with exhibitions, they say, is that they lack real stakes and therefore struggle to hold long-term fan interest. On the other side, however, many insist that Davis's speed, slick style, and natural boxing IQ would allow him to embarrass Jake Paul regardless of size. For them, the fight is less about weight and more about the fact that Gervonta has fought elite champions while Jake's resume is built on a limited experience. They pictured Davis darting in, landing clean punches, and making Jake look clumsy despite the size gap.
But it's mostly win-win for him. Right. So what does Gervonta Davis?
Hold on. I gotta respond.
That's what I want, Chris. Go ahead.
I didn't even get to talk.
Please.
So, what has he done for the sport? I mean, manufactured or not, he went out there and he performed and he got knockouts and people tuned in. Boxing fans tuned in. And you can talk about that shoe fight and that shoe. They're not boxing fans. Gervonta Davis sold pay-per-views to boxing fans. And he got boxing fans to come to fights, which is so needed. Desperately needed in this day and age.
They marketed him that way. You can market anybody. You can market it that way. You can market it that way. And champ, you should know better because you and I were very marketable and never got any marketing except as opponents for high-level fighters. And you should know that. They talk about great white hypes and all this other stuff. No, that's absolutely not true. They manufacture what they want to manufacture. Shakur Stevenson can be marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Andre Ward was very marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Why do black fighters only get marketed when they're quote-unquote ghetto, when there's class guys who you can market as great examples? Shakur Stevenson, Andre Ward, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm saying it. People complain because I'm too real, and I'm going to be honest. Why could Ray Leonard be manufactured as a... I don't even want to use the word manufactured because Ray Leonard actually was legit.
Great fighter.
But Ray Leonard promoted as the class guy, and it worked. Why could you do it back then, but now you can't do it? Andre Ward was gold medalist the same way, class, could speak, mature, poised, could fight his ass off. Why didn't you market him the way you marketed Ray Leonard? What happened between 1976 and 2004? Why are you marketing Why are you marketing only Thug Life? Why? And I'm not saying, okay, I wasn't a part of this because I was a big fan of the hip-hop gangster rap generation and all this other stuff. But as a 44-year-old, you start to realize the concept of the entire scope of things. Why are you not marketing guys like Shakur Stevenson more? Why are you marketing this guy who doesn't want any of the smoke? Shakur has wanted all the smoke. This guy doesn't want any of the smoke.
Chael Sonnen, known for his blunt takes, weighed in by saying Jake Paul blindsided the public by suddenly pivoting toward Gervonta instead of Anthony Taylor, whom many thought was next. Sonnen stressed that Tank Davis is not naturally a salesman when it comes to promoting fights. He may be a tremendous fighter, but his ability to hype events and draw mainstream coverage is limited compared to Paul. Jake Paul, on the other hand, has built a career not only in the ring, but also outside it. By knowing exactly how to craft narratives that sell, Sonnen's point is that while Davis brings legitimacy through his skill, Jake Paul brings the promotional machine. And without that balance, the fight would never reach the level of interest it currently has. It is a partnership of sorts. One side with raw fighting talent and the other with unmatched marketing instinct.
About it. My question is, what's the rules? And like, are they going to actually try and knock each other out? Because it's going to be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's going to have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah.
You know?
Big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's going to eat his
I thought
guts.
Jake was going to fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed
no, that was actually getting.
That sounded more
craziest
interesting.
idea I've ever heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, crazy.
Oh.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
What is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we don't punch each other in the jaw.
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they
very
can get away
interesting
with
to
it.
me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
He's so small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person, and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person.
I've worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's so small. Wow.
Some analysts believe that even though Gervonta Davis is renowned for his knockout power at lightweight and super featherweight, that same power would not translate against someone of Jake Paul's size. They argue that Paul's natural weight and build provide him with a level of durability Davis cannot overcome. In smaller divisions, Davis's shots break opponents down, but against a bigger framed opponent, the same punches may not have the same effect. The analyst viewpoint here is simple. Physics matters. While skill can overcome many challenges, there comes a point where size acts as a shield. This skepticism fuels the argument that a Davis versus Paul fight is more spectacle than a sporting contest because one fighter may simply be too physically advantaged for the other's strengths to matter. Clips.
It is the exact opposite of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul for 2. So the fight that was being dangled and rumored in front of us, the exact opposite has happened. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is not fighting nobody. The opposite of fighting Anthony Joshua is fighting Tank Davis. Okay. So there's one big glaring issue for me. It's just your partner being Tank Davis. Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. It could be a title fight, a contender's fight, a main event fight. He could be the favorite. He could be the underdog. Tank doesn't know how to bring that information to you guys in a way that is compelling. And Tank is already blinking in this situation. You have one guy who is argued amongst the pound for pound current greats in boxing. You have another guy that has suggested he should not even be allowed to box, that he should have to call it something different. He should not be licensed. He should not be ranked in the top 14. He should never be selected for a world title. Okay. Now, Tank has one job to do, which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport.
Critics argue that Jake Paul's rise in boxing has been built not just on promotion, but on a kind of disrespect toward fighters of past generations. They claim that by pulling retired legends into the ring with promises of big paydays, he undermines the integrity of the sport. Even icons like Mike Tyson have been tempted back after years away, which excites fans but also raises real safety concerns. The line between spectacle and exploitation becomes blurred when aging legends are lured into battles they would never have taken otherwise. While the money is undeniable, the risk is that boxing turns into a carnival where reputation is at stake and health is endangered. Jake Paul thrives on this danger, yet many see it as proof he is willing to bend tradition in pursuit of attention.
The Gervonta fight makes no sense to me because yes, Floyd didn't have the punching power Gervonta had, but even if Gervonta lands, I don't see him hurting Jake to the point he knocks him out. So what are we even doing? Where's the idea of this where's the idea that Gervonta is even gonna hurt him? He may hurt him to the body, whatever. Jake doesn't want to throw as much, but I don't see him one punch knocking Jake out. And, the same thing was kind of said with Logan. Like, okay, Floyd probably won't knock him out, but probably going to outbox him. I get where Dana's coming from. These things are not meant to be competitive fights. They're meant to make money and to, I guess, scratch that itch of the circus mystery unknown.
And Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than fucking Floyd. But he's too small. I mean, your brother's going to be able to, get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up. But I don't hate your brother. Your brother's out there doing his thing. But it cracks me up that they want to start suing people that are talking shit when your brother talks more shit than anybody talks.
I think the thought process behind it is, okay, so Jake and I are obviously pretty polarizing individuals. And when an echo chamber starts and a rumor mill starts of like staged fight bullshit, which like these fights aren't staged, that's just, it's at that level, it's like almost impossible. I think they think that it affects the business and it affects the brand because people discredit him as actually having legitimate bouts. I think that's the theory. So to hold people accountable for
legitimate
perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying that, right? So the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now, again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say, what some people do say, which is, we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another one.
Former champion Sean Porter defended Gervonta Davis's decision to step into an exhibition with Jake Paul, arguing that critics miss the bigger picture. For Porter, the fight is less about proving greatness in the ring and more about securing financial stability for Davis and his family. Because it is an exhibition, the risks are limited by agreed-upon rules and safety measures, and the main goal is entertainment. Porter emphasizes that fighters often face short careers and must take opportunities that provide both exposure and financial reward. From this perspective, Tank Davis accepting such a fight is not selling out, but rather protecting his future while giving fans a show. Porter's words highlight the balance between purists who want legacy and fighters who must think of their lives beyond the sport.
Perpetuating the rumor.
Legitimate meaning not fixed.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And
which is, I mean, again, Dana would do the same thing if his company became known for doing fixed fights when they weren't. Then he would try to find the same way to hold people accountable if they were reputable people saying that, right? So the whole Jake suing people for blatantly trying to say he fixes fights or he stages fights or people have no knockout clauses and all the other bullshit, I understand. Now, again, people need to use their words more accurately if they're upset about what Jake is doing. All you have to do, if you're upset with the way Jake is moving in his career, is say, what some people do say, which is we like to see Jake challenge himself. We don't want to see these exhibitions, these fights that don't make sense for what you said you want to do or what you purport to want to be in the sport of boxing, which is a world champion. We want to see you fight active fighters around your skill level. That's it. But you can't go on there and go, oh, look, another rigged fight. Oh, look, another fake fight. Oh, look, he's staging another one. Right? That's the thing that's, again, false. So I get it. I get why they're upset, but I also get why people categorize it the way they do. You just got to be better with your words. That's it.
And not many of the fights are legitimate fights, but not being fixed. Hey, you hit me here and I hit you there.
Yeah, I mean, Dana, that's insane. You like?
I agree.
Like, let's choreograph.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if people are fucking saying stupid shit? People say dumb shit about me, my business, all the time.
True.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.